All right, guys. We are here tonight and we're talking, well, I don't know, whenever you're going to watch it, but we are here and we're going to talk about some more volumes of the two shapes that you found surface areas for, but you haven't found the volume yet. And so that's the pyramid and the cones. Now, I have my cone right here. If you remember the cone that I have, again, it doesn't have a top right here, but that's okay. And just like any prism or cylinder, the way that you find the volume of that shape is just by finding the area of that base and then just multiply it times the height. Now, be careful because the height is not on the outside of the shape here, right? Whatever that height is. It actually is the shape that's perpendicular. It's right here in the middle, all right? So a lot of your shapes, probably you cannot stick some type of measurement, right? You just can't cut in half to find that height. I saw some of you guys have like Bluetooth speakers and things like that. Definitely, do not want to cut those in half to find the height for that. So we're going to take a look at using the Pythagorean theorem to use the lateral height or the slant height and some part of the base in order to make a right triangle to use the Pythagorean theorem with that. All right. We're actually, looks like the paper that I have up here is a pyramid first. So we can use the pyramid here, trying to get set up. All right, now, one thing that we will notice here before we even get started with measuring this, when I'm looking at this, notice this is going to be the height. It's just the volume of the base times the height. However, with both a cone and a pyramid, because of that slant, it's only 1/3 of that base times the height. Okay, so let's not forget that 1/3 when we're down here finishing out our final part. All right, I definitely didn't include it there, so we'll have to remember that. And it'll be really funny when I don't, because there's a good chance I probably won't remember it, and then you can all be yelling at me in the middle of the video. All right, so for this, decide what shape we have in the bottom. So again, nice empty trash can, very nice. About keeping that empty. So we know, if you recall from the previous time, it was just a square. It was an inch is what I'm going to be measuring in, is inches. The formula for the area of the base, because it's just a square, it's length times width, it's side squared. Again, I can measure this, but if I go from 1 inch, or one side, to the other, just shy of 9.5. And again, that one should be a little bit better. Yeah, just shy of 9.5, right? So 9.5 times 9.5. We use our handy dandy calculator. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe on the previous problem I had 9 times 9.5. And so we know our area of the base here is just going to be 90.25 right here. That's going to be inches squared. All right, so here's where it comes into the lateral height. This H is the perpendicular height, the one that we could stick inside and just measure. The L is that slant height that we found before. And the R, it's just the radius. Although, yes, it's not a circle. Maybe an apothem might be a better way to say that. But just at the rate of not changing a whole bunch of variables on the two shapes, I didn't change that here. All right, so I'm going to find the radius first, or the apothem. Again, same thing. It would just be 9.5. So 9.5 divided by 2 is 4.75. 4.75. And then again, my height here is just 12 inches. All right. So when we're taking a look at this here, we have my L just being 12 here. Let's see what I got. That's a little bit better. My L is my 12 there. So I know, let's see if I can make that a little more clear. That's going to be 144. 4.75 squared. Pull up my handy dandy calculator here. 4.75 squared is just 22.5659er. All right. So, looks like I have these two numbers. I can just subtract it. And that comes up to be 121.4375. I know that I'm going to need to square root that just based on the way the formula is looking. So I have 121.4375, and again, I'm just square rooting that. Comes up to be a random decimal, just 11.1908. It says just to round it to 2 decimal places, so I know 11.02 will suffice. All right, so, just remembered it. Volume of a pyramid is just 1/3. And then we have our area of the base, which was just 90.25 inches squared, times by my perpendicular height, which was 11 2/2 of an inch. All right, so we have 11 2/2 times 90.25, and then I'm going to multiply that by 1/3, or just divide it by 3, is 331.52 inches to the 3rd power. Again, make sure that we're labeling that correctly, okay? Do not forget about that 1/3 when we're actually finding the volume here. All right, let's see if quickly we can get into a cone. When we're taking a look at this cone here, again, we know what the base of the shape at least has to be. It has to be a circle. Again, we're taking a look at this 1/3 here. I don't have it at the bottom, so let's hope I don't forget it. All right, so what unit are we measuring in? We know that we're going with inches again. We're going to be taking a look at our handy dandy lamp, and we're just going to be measuring this here. So pull out my trusty ruler. Ooh. We're measuring the diameter, which is going to be 5 inches. So my radius would just have to be 2.5 inches. I could plug those numbers in. Get out of here. So we just have 2.5 squared times 3.14. That's what I'm going to use for pi. It's 19.625, so 19.63 inches squared. Now again, these letters might make more sense here because we're talking about a circle, but we're doing the same idea. That's one reason why I wanted to group them together along with the formula being the same. So we found the radius already. That was just 2.5. We've got to find the height of our cone. Now, you're always measuring it to the tippy top here, right? And so, again, I made the point with my pyramid and cone. I don't have one that goes all the way to the top, so we're going to say that's 6.5. We're just getting an idea of this. A lot of this is just being able to plug in numbers to the formula, all right? All right, so we're going to take 6.5 squared. We're going to make 42.25. We're going to take 2.5 squared, and that makes 6.25. I'm going to subtract those two numbers and get 36, so I know my height is just going to be 6 inches tall. Yes, guys, I did not forget about it. There's my 1/3. I'll make sure that I include that on your paper. I have my area of a base. I have my height. I'm going to multiply those three numbers just the way that I do it. It looks like I'm starting out on the right-hand side. 6 times 19.63 hundredths. And again, multiply it times 1/3, or divided by 3, 39.26 inches to the 3rd power. All right, so these are the last two shapes that we're going to talk about. that we've already found the surface area. Stay tuned to tomorrow for Thursday's assignment, where we talk about that sphere and we see how easy it is to be measuring something so small as a sphere. All right. Until then, we'll see you then.